Hi, everyone. It's John Galante, president of AE Ventures, the folks that develop the Builder Innovator content portal, and of course, produce the TecHome Builder and Housing Transformation Summit events. We're here today with Kirk Page, who's the CEO of KPS Alarm. And KPS Alarm and Kirk are winners of one of our TecHome Builder Arc of Achievement Awards. That's kind of a lifetime service hall of fame type honor that we confer on select companies and individuals in the industry for long-term achievement, sustained achievement in the areas of innovation and home technology. And of course, we're always interested in collaborations with builders. So, Kirk, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks, John. I appreciate it.
yeah. And so let's just start at kind of the beginning in terms of the origins of your company and its evolution to where it is today.
Yeah, pretty funny story actually. I started off with the tool belt, and at the age of about 19, started my own company. So I was pretty young. My dad had a small alarm company. Grew up in the industry, and probably about, I would say maybe 8 years into that, we developed into a small alarm company, traditional type of alarm company, and really had kind of an epiphany. Is this for me and my family, or is this for others? And so at that point, I really decided I really want this to be for others. I really want it to be for more than just myself.
Mhm.
So at that point, we started growing, looking at other avenues, and kind of emerged into the company that we are today, with about 100 employees throughout the state of California,
Wow.
and serving the builder market. We have some new verticals starting, which I'm excited about, and then obviously with the smart home automation, which is kind of the contributions that we've done in the builder industry, just
Yep.
just to take it to a level to where it's tangible for the builder, and do some of
Yep.
that stuff, which is lots of fun. I love the innovation side of what we do.
So it's 20 plus years in business, right? 25 plus?
33 actually started. I know
33.
I look, I look like I started when I was, 16 or something, but yeah, close to it.
Oh, you don't look like you would be in the business for 33 years, that's for sure. Hey, so tell me about like some of the milestones from an innovation and accomplishment perspective for you and the company. Can you point to a few moments in time where you feel like you had a breakthrough?
Yeah, kind of in 1999, like I said, about 8, 9 years in, really started looking at how we could grow. And, one of the things that I think for any leader of their company is you are the lid on your company. So as much as you're able to lead, that's kind of where your lid's gonna be. And obviously, it's not just about you. It's because you can't do anything great by yourself. It has to do with the team. And, we have some great team members. I got, David Old, who's been with me for 22 years, and Tony, our president now, has been with us for almost 8. So, some of these guys that have been with us a long time, really are the ones who make it happen on a day-to-day basis. And that
Yeah.
team makes it happen. But going back to myself, in order to build that team, you have to be a leader that's able to lead them and help them to go where they want to go. And so, one of the guys who I had bought a small, we were in the builder market, and I had bought a small builder integrator that was struggling, and I hired the owner as a salesperson, and he handed me a book that changed my life. Called the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell, right? And I just talked about the first law, which is the law of the lid. And so along the way, the grace of God, He's given me people in my life, or different books to read, or things that have really helped me to grow and innovate. So at that point in 1999, that was kind of where I made the decision that I wanted it to be more than just for me and my family, and that people could provide for their families and be able to make a good, or hopefully great income. and be a part of something bigger than just themselves. And so, that being said, I think the builder market gave us that trajectory from that traditional alarm company, and then started looking at, back then it was structured wiring and, and some home theater and some things. Now it's smart home and wireless products and Wi-Fi and WAPs and all the things that we've progressed to today. So I would say
Yeah.
that that's probably kind of the big kind of shift, I guess, was right about at that point.
So, in addition to the leadership and management approach that you instituted from a technical perspective, uh, products and applications like structured wiring back in the mid 2000s, I'm assuming those were the
Hmm.
go-go years when
Yeah,
we didn't have wireless internet. We
yeah,
needed
yeah, yeah.
tribute those
We just came out of
Ethernet,
dial-up, right?
yeah,
That was
and
painful.
phone and coax and the Ethernet all home run. So that was a big piece for you. And how long did you ride that train?
Well, I think it's still a piece of what we do. Obviously, it's changed, it's different.
Hmm.
So it's still valid and important infrastructure within the home. If everything's on Wi-Fi, obviously that can slow down. Now, Wi-Fi is getting better and better and better all the time. But yeah, so I think, I remember back in the on-Q days before it was Legrand, and, them coming out and training us and how to connect an RJ45. And, it was like, that was foreign. But, I
Right.
think as a company, it's really important that you look at, what your customers' needs are, what their problems are, how do you help solve those problems,
Yep.
where the market's going, and then, work with our partners within the industry, the manufacturers,
Right.
the non-competing dealers like yourself to brainstorm, and things like that are really, really important in our industry.
So our on cue key vendor for you, folks like Jim Devon and Dave Hanchett involved in the initial startup for you with the on cue side of things, or who was part of that team?
Yeah, back then, Kevin was our rep, so he's the one who came out
Kevin
and
O'Leary.
did that. And obviously Bob along the ways made impacts there. And Kevin since retired. Murphy, I
Yeah.
don't know if you know Kevin Murphy,
Yeah.
but great man,
Uh-huh.
great guy, love him. And so guys like that, along the way help you out. And those are manufacturers, and that's important to work with your manufacturers to figure out
And
solutions.
was your relation, you've had a long relationship with KB Home, were they one of the first builder partners that really leveraged that growing proficiency on the structured wiring side of things?
Yeah, KB Home came around about 2010 for us. So it was a little bit later, and they were struggling with an integrator that they had, and it we were able to come in and make an impact there, and do business with KB throughout the state of California in every single division. We're
Uh-huh.
grateful for that relationship. It's been a big piece of that. And they're a build to order builder, which is great for us because options today, things have changed some. I think
Yeah.
builders are looking to streamline and try to figure out how they build faster and more efficient. And so those are
And,
challenges that we're
swings
dealing with.
back and forth, doesn't it, between
Yeah,
getting as much as they can per house to getting as many houses built as quickly as
yep,
possible. It's
yeah.
kind of fluctuates with the market
It ebbs
condition.
and flows in that world. Yes, for sure.
So, a lot of focus on the infrastructure and selling of options and upgrades with infrastructure as the basis, particularly with someone like KB that has a great studio and design program for getting those upsells done. Talk to me a little bit about, how you collaborate on that front as well. I'm interested in the sales and marketing collaboration, and then we could talk about kind of the design and production collaboration too, because that's critical for a high volume builder like KB as well.
Yeah, and again, as things adapt, you got to change. So, when we first started back in the early 2000s, it was brochures in the model homes. And it sounds kind of funny, but they were like hanging, stacked hanging of the different options, if the builder would let us put them in. And our goal was to make sure that whether you're buying that home or not, that you got some kind of connection to us. So we wanted those in the models. And then today, obviously, things are more digital. And so, like, if you go to our website, kpsalarms.com or kpspowerhome.com, you'll see on there, like, view our digital brochure. And it's got more of a digital brochure, which is kind of generic for the bulk of our builders. And then it'll have videos in there, like training videos. Some of those are manufacturers, some of those are ours. And so it's a little bit more interactive. And then obviously with, COVID, that shifted things. And luckily we were ready to go for all that 100%. We flipped the switch day one of our governor in California wanted to shut down everything. And we were really set for that and had already done some virtual stuff. So we just kind of amplified that and went virtual. Now we're heading back a little bit more to virtual still, but a lot of face to faces as
Right.
well. I think that lasted and it was good while it was, and it's still good and a viable
Right.
option. But some people want to meet face to face. As far as helping the builders go through their option sets, we tend to be a little bit more stringent because of the volume of what we do. We can't be the masters of everything, and I can't have a tech trained on every single product that's out there. So we tend to be pretty stringent in that. Now, builders push and shove of what they want you to do, and sometimes I think we probably lose business because I just don't want to do it if we can't do it well. And so one of our kind of our rallying cry, if you want to call it that, for 20 is what we've the acronym is CPR, and we're not giving resuscitation back people to life, but it's communication within our team and to the builder. It's performance, and which isn't it's how do we perform it, and really I don't know the best solutions, but the guys who are doing the job or the office workers that are doing it, they're at the tip of the spear, so to speak, and they need to be able to speak into that and say, hey, we do this, but why do we do it? It's not really effective. It's not efficient. So increasing that performance and then driving the results for our customers. So, that's kind of our rallying cry for 2024 is to communicate well internally, externally, and then perform and get the results for the customer. And our team,
Gotcha.
the results for our team.
Yeah. So collaborating on the options, upselling stuff. I mean, I'm always curious how this goes because, like, you do want the builder to be an ally. You want the folks who are in that design center on an everyday basis to be able to answer at least a front end of the question and set you guys up for the deeper conversation. Is that how it's working with you and your team, or
Yeah,
has worked? How do
absolutely.
you
Yeah,
make that actually uh, perform in a consistent way, right? Because there's
yeah,
turnover on every side of the equation. What do you
yeah.
guys do to get the interface and the handoffs from the builder, design center, sales, and associate folks to
Yeah.
you and your?
Yeah, there's several components to that, John, and it's important that you cover all of them. So the first one is obviously meeting with the options manager, kind of going through what they want to do, helping them to understand what sells well for the buyer. Because sometimes, they may have an idea, let's just put everything together in one big package, and it's like, okay, that's great, but we're never going to sell anything. So what's the point? So,
Yeah.
we still want it packaged. We don't want everything a la carte. The builder doesn't like that. So you kind of got to get a feel for where they want to go in that and then try to tailor that. But it
Yep.
is within what we call the system as the solution, meaning that this is what we do. It may be a little bit different of a package for one builder than the other, but it's very
Right.
systematic so that we can perform it with a high level of excellence and in the field and throughout the process of what we do. So
Yeah.
then it comes to the studio. So if the builder has a studio, or they have a design studio that they're subcontracting, we want to have interaction in there. So we want working models in there. If we can get video in there of what the or customer testimonials playing of we bought the home and we got our home theater and it's amazing, and the kids enjoy it or whatever, right? So those go a long way to help build excitement into the process, and then let people see and play with what the options and the opportunities are for them. And then the last piece is what we call lunch and learns. And so that's where we go into those studios and we buy them lunch, and just hang with them and answer questions and go through the options so that those people can do that. And I guess there is a that wasn't quite the last piece. There is the piece of the sales agent and so we have home technology specialists that are assigned to different projects, and part of them is to be able to go out and make sure that the models have a brochure if it's approved by the builder, or they got to whatever the builder wants in that. And then also to be able to ask and build a relationship there. So, hey, I had a customer come in last week and they were wondering, can they get, smart home stuff? It's like, yeah, absolutely. And here's what they get. And here's, so those kind of things I think are really important. We try to mirror the builder positions internally here so that we have relationship and connection in each piece.
And talk to me about the kind of the design and production side of things. I mean, are you getting your products populated into the construction drawings in some cases? Are you that integrated with some of your builders at least? And then talk about the collaboration and project management and being on time and on point at the job site itself. It's a place where a lot of low voltage or technology integrators, stumble. You guys haven't. You wouldn't have the long-term relationships with builders like KB if you did. So talk to me a little bit about your secrets to, your keys to success there.
This is where I feel like I need to come clean. We're not perfect, and when it comes to production, it is difficult. And there's times that we've had some challenges, and so you got to react quickly and try to make those changes, and then figure out how you don't do that again. Typically, that's through projections, which is hard to get that from the builder. It's like, help us, but it's like pulling teeth sometime because, and some of it can be their fault as well on the production side. And what I mean by that is that, they didn't sell homes first quarter very well, and second quarter didn't go good until the end. And then so second and third quarter, they have the bulk of their sales, and then that means, you have a huge curve in labor force. And so those kind of things can be challenged, but the further you can project those out, the better. So I wish I could say we were perfect on that end, and it's never happened, but obviously it has.
Do you tap into collaboration portals or ERPs or anything like that for real-time digital feeds for, when and where your crews should be out there?
Yeah, and that's an area that, I mean, we've been doing this for 33 years, and I'm like, how do we continue to be better at this? How do we get further out? And it's a challenge, and it differs from different builder. We have like 200 projects throughout California, right? So keeping track of all those projects are it's just difficult. And so we met with a solar and roof installation company, and said, hey, you guys are large and you do this and you're growing. How are you doing it? So just, we don't always have the best ideas, and we pick up some things that we can implement from them. So on the operations side, again, we mirror those relationships, try to build them, and then we survey our builders superintendents every month. Not every project, but if we were in that project, if we close that phase, we'll make a phone call and survey them, so that we know at the top, are we performing well? Are we not? I want to know before that gets to the purchasing agent and with the call that, hey, you guys need to clean it up or you're gone. Those are the calls you don't want.
Cool. good attitude around it, even if you don't have perfection yet. You got it. You're on a continuous improvement mindset there for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about what I call the crazy ant in the basement, which is the onboarding of the actual users, the home buyer, and then the long-term support for them. It's like one of the not so secret, dirty little secrets about home technology is we haven't always had the greatest user experience. A lot of times it's because the initiation with the buyer is not getting the users up to speed with how to operate the systems, what the capabilities are, et cetera. So what are you guys doing to make that onboarding piece and the refresh piece solid? And then how do you support them long term? You're an alarm company, so you got a monitoring connection, which I think is one of the keys. But talk to me a little bit about your practices and strong points in those areas.
Yeah. So, that the piece that you're talking about there, it's really key that we look at all of that and say, how do we continue to do that? Hang on one second. I got an iRobot, and it's decided that now's the time to jump on and work, right? Here
Okay.
goes smart home automation at its best. And I'm,
Yes.
I'm thinking I'm good because it's not set to go for an hour and a half, but I guess it had a mind on its own. So anyway, we took care of that. So ultimately, going into I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Say that, ask that question again.
It's ownership experience. It's owner onboarding. It's the long-term support. It's the kind of the training and retraining and refreshing so folks can operate it right. You're an alarm business
Oh
guy.
yeah, yeah.
When
Okay, yeah.
we
I'm with
we
you,
did
John.
surveys on false
Yeah,
alarms when
yeah,
I was with the Security Industry Association 30 years ago, number one reason was user error, right?
yeah,
So it wasn't
yeah,
wasn't that the equipment didn't work, it's the users
yeah.
didn't know how to work it. So
That's a great point. So uh, you know, as a company, I think we made a shift in the last probably really just prior to COVID, about 2018. We're like, this is an area that I think is the weakest part within our organization, how we care for that customer long term. Because our mindset was like, we gotta get more builders, we gotta get more projects, we gotta get whatever. Well, your stability is RMR, right? So that's a big, huge piece of making sure that you continue to drive the results is the RMR side. So we have really built up Brandon Youngman, who's at our customer care. We call it customer care manager. He's been fantastic, and really built a team, and then the training for that team, and then surveys for those customers when they're out there, and then how does the customer want to interact? The customer doesn't want to call us anymore. They want to be able to go to their touch screen and connect with us, or they want to be able to jump on their phone, or if they go to our website, it starts a chat, pulls it off of the website, and now they're interacting with us through text on their phone. So we figured out other ways to communicate with that customer, and then we send out, it's not always every 3 months, but every 3 to 4 months, we send out communication pieces, mail, old-fashioned mail pieces. We do have a monthly newsletter that will go out, but we get so much junk in our, so we're probably on their spam list or whatever. But the mail piece people will read, and so reminding them, hey, you have a security alarm. Hey, have you taken advantage of your discount in your homeowner's insurance? Contact us if you need to see, if you need a certificate. Here's the number to chat with us, and they can just get on their phone and text it right then and there. Hey, I need a
yep.
certificate. So those are the kind of things that we try to do to remind them of the value that they have. Do you need a new yard sign? It's surprising how many people go, hey, I need a new yard sign, or those kind of things. So we just try to connect with them and stay connected through
Yep.
multiple different channels.
Very good. Well, we worked through kind of the process continuum there. I do want to go back to just a couple of product and application areas and get your some quick feedback from you on it. One is we started with structured wiring. You're an alarm company. We always thought the alarm companies were going to be the ambassadors for home automation, and we waited and waited and waited. And then recurring revenue arrived for home automation around 2009, 2010. So talk to me about how this smart home security thing that we struggled with so long to get the consumer and the builder interested in something that deliver that set of benefits, how it's really become a staple, and what was your journey on that? When did it pop for you, and how big of a thing is it right now?
I think in the 2012, 13, range in that time frame, maybe even a little bit past that, but it definitely in that time frame it started. In California, energy is huge, and so we're like, how can we help the builder with their Title 24s? Now that didn't pan out the way that I had originally hoped for that, because we didn't get the credits that I thought we would on the smart home side to save energy. It was solar and insulation and those kind of things into that. So you're constantly looking for ideas of what is the solutions that you can help the builder out with, and what we did to try to help them migrate, because builders, they're sticks and brick and mortar, right? So and they're like Jerry Maguire behind you, show me the money, that's their bottom line is all about that. I love that movie. That's a great movie, but I'm a little off track now, but and I think our employees want us to show them the love, and that's an important piece. You talked about production, but really it's our employees that we have to train and care for to make that happen. But ultimately, going back to the builder side, we're trying to help them to see, look at the car. Your house has zero technology in it, but what kind of car do people buy? Do they buy a car with hand roll up windows? And so obviously that's not the case. They want electric windows. They want a remote. They want to be able to remote start their car. You're missing that piece in there. And so how do and they didn't just go, remember the days of I bought my car, but now I'm customizing my audio and I'm getting a screen put in, and you're going to Allen Eds or whatever it is, those days are over. And why? Because the manufacturers realize they're missing out on that opportunity to create revenue. So helping the builder to understand that, hey, this isn't a cost factor for you. It's actually a revenue, and it's a marketing differentiator for you. And so
Yeah.
I think we were able to do that pretty successfully to get some traction
Yeah.
at getting builders to put the money up front and then make the option on it.
Very good. Well, we did a lot of looking back, but looking ahead, what do you think the new engines for growth on the home technology side will be in the next 2-3 years? What's going to become a hot category that's broadly adopted?
I think our biggest thing is continuing to drive down the cost point for the builders so that it's a no-brainer. And that may mean that we don't make a whole lot or anything on the front to get to that buyer and make the RMR. But I think as far as technology, and I'm not sure how it's going to tie into the smart home, but it will, is AI. AI is changing everything. And we're looking at our company, we're looking at, bots and how do we be more efficient. And so it'll be interesting to see how that affects how people interact and live in their home. We're not there yet as an industry. It's a brand new technology. So I think that's going to make, just like voice control and apps and all that, made some serious shifts. I think that's going to affect and make some shifts in our industry.
And is there a process improvement in your company that you have particular focus on for the future that you think will make a
Yeah,
difference?
absolutely. We just went through a revamp and what we call a team consult, a brainstorm on smart home, because it's feeling a little aged. It doesn't feel like there's anything new, exciting about it or different. And so we're like, how does smart home make an impact for the builder in saving them costs from loss? because that's a huge issue, right? Construction cost, losses, damage, vandalism, delays in closing homes because of that. So,
Yeah.
we're looking at two different avenues. One is if it's all about the cost, how do we simplify the processes and have less interaction in the home, so that we can drive that cost down for the builder. If the builder wants that, we have that avenue. And then how do we create, some marketing incentive for that buyer to say, hey, you get this for free, or you get some free stuff in order to take that. We also, which is the first time we've ever done it, is moved into a rebate program for the builder. So this year we're rolling out rebates for the builder that are pretty substantial for that customer when they sign monitoring with us. So we're allowing them to share in that profit point for us. And then the last thing is how do we reduce theft on construction? So we're doing that through some site security stuff that we're actually creating in-house, and then we're doing that through. We'll trim that system, we'll activate it. You'll have an enterprise account that can control all of your houses, and you can keep that have it auto arm at night for that home. So if you got an inventory home, or the homeowner's not moved in yet, that home is secure and protected, and you don't have to worry about appliances walking, that kind of stuff. So we're trying to be more solution oriented into some of their other problems as well.
Very cool. Kirk, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us. Congratulations on being an Arc of Achievement honoree for
Thank you, John.
TecHome, and our wishes for continued success.
Thank you. And I want to thank you for all that you guys do in our industry and the relationships that you built in the builder side of the business. It's really been an impact for us as well. So thank you.
Our pleasure. Okay, I think we are done.
All right.
On the builder portal stuff, I want to send you a link to a webcast I did with ECI Bolt.
Okay.
Whether you're familiar with ECI, but they have a whole suite of software for the builders. But they've built a trade partner ERP that interfaces with some of the builder ERPs and makes the collaboration piece a little more seamless. So I'll send you that link, and if you want me to introduce you to Bob Kane, who's the business unit leader for ECI Bolt, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm always looking for new ideas and solution. We use actually an ERP called Medallion, and it's nothing that is from our industry. It's something that's in the construction industry, but we've modified it, and it has a CRM built into it, which I'm not actually a big fan of. I'm actually saying how do we build an API and use a different CRM? But ultimately, we're pretty ingrained in that, and that it does all our job costing and projections we need to be open to ideas that help simplify stuff. So it sounds like for me, the integration with the builder site can be huge. So that's pretty exciting.
And there may be modularity to it, and on that front too, that I'm not 100% aware of. So I'll send you the link, and happy to make an introduction. Thank you so much for making time.
Yeah, thanks.
I in Pasadena in November with the Homebuilder Summit. And I'm actually, Kirk, going to be researching whether we might start hosting integrators like you guys, where you would be side by side with the builders in the general sessions, high volume, and then we would break you out into your own boardroom groups, because we can't have presentations from vendors to both integrators and builders because there's too much different stories. But
yeah,
does that sound like it would be something interesting for you?
I think those are great ideas, because of some of those collaboration pieces, and then obviously helping the industry to continue to evolve and grow and give guys ideas. Like I'm a proponent of competition. A competition makes us better. I would sit on my laurels if it wasn't for competition. So I think I don't mind sharing all that, and that's why I don't mind doing this, because I know hopefully it helps the industry and helps some guys that are looking to do give them some ideas. So
yeah,